This week, we're talking hair extensions and how to keep your hair healthy with an expert. And later, it's all about the 5 love languages. Do you know yours? Let's dive in. Party's over. Are you ready to try something new? To ditch the drama, look younger, and finally step into your power? I'm Sandra Silverman, best-selling author, successful entrepreneur, and a mom of 2 amazing kids. I've been through it all, from bullshit to Botox, from broken up to badass. I've done the research, had some work done, and kissed a few frogs along the way. One thing I've learned, when you're faced with an obstacle, the best thing to do is to give it a hard look and say, party's over. Only then can you move on to the good stuff. Welcome to Party's Over. We're starting this time with talk about hair extensions. I'm here with my friends Erica and Nancy, who I admit both give me hair envy. Hair extensions are one of my favorite anti-aging secrets, and nobody knows more about them than our first guest, expert hairstylist, Kelly Godinez. Tell us about yourself, Kelly. Thank you for coming.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm so excited that I was able to join you today. My name is Kelly, and I am a professional hairstylist. My expertise kind of range a little bit, but a lot of extensions, that's kind of where my niche is. And I work a lot. I used to work a lot in the salon, but now I've transitioned over to working on set and doing a lot of commercials, music videos, red carpets, you name it. And so with that comes a world of hair extensions, as everybody must know.
And Kelly just got engaged yesterday, so congratulations.
Thank you so much. This wasn't going to be my background today, but you know what? We're rolling with it because it was a complete surprise.
She's in Newport right now, and he surprised her with the engagement and a trip, which is amazing.
Yeah, I was told that I was going to a family reunion because he knows that I work so much and I always try and put clients in between whenever I can and whenever I'm in town. And I was already telling him like, oh, so-and-so needs this and that. And he was like, you're going to be out of town. So you can't.
That's so funny. So I met Kelly in 2018, and it was interesting the way that we met because during that time I was having a lot of hair issues. I had DHT attacking the follicle. And unfortunately, my hair was so short, it was breaking so much that I had to wear a wig. So I went to a place in New York City and got a wig. The wig was a disaster, even though the hair quality was amazing. One of my neighbors told me to go there. A lot of her friends bought wigs in that from that company. So I went, I had the consultation, the wig got shipped to Miami, and I was like, oh, there's no way I'm wearing this. So I took it to the salon where I went to at that time, and Kelly had just started working there, or we had just met. I don't know how long you were there, but yeah, so we had just met. I had 4 people working on this wig. So my hair colorist, Erica, Kelly, and 2 other master stylists were cutting the wig. So after 4 people, and Kelly, what were you doing for the wig?
I was retouching the wig because we all know when someone's wearing a fake wig. And so the wig came in and the density was just too much. It didn't look natural. So I went in and kind of took out some hair around the hairline so that when she put it on, it didn't look fake. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody wants to know that you're wearing extensions. So that was my part of the deal, was having her look like she didn't have anything on.
And what's DHT?
So the DHT was attacking the follicle where it was, I guess I had too much DHT in my body at the time. And so when it was attacking the follicle, it was causing a lot of breakage and hair loss. I lost some hair from the follicle because of the DHT.
How did you know about the DHT issue?
I didn't know. I went to a hair specialist in New York, Dr. Katzen, and when I walked in, he immediately, without even blood testing me, he could see by the pattern of my hair that I had DHT just by looking. He's like, you have DHT. And millions of people have it, but they may not know that they have it. So when you see women who have like bald spots, it's because the DHT attacked the follicle and they didn't do anything to block it.
They probably didn't know about
it. Right, and then it just, the hair would come out. And I guess you can fix it with like hair transplants and things like that.
But it takes a while too. And the thing is as hairstylists, we need to know when to recommend your our clients to a professional and to a doctor, because those are things that we think we might know what's going on, but at the end of the day, that it takes blood work and having a professional actually take a look at that. So I think that that's important too, is somebody must have called out, because you did have patches in your hair. It wasn't just like one area, and it was abnormal where there was bald spots. So those are things that you want to definitely go and take a look at by a professional. But and it took us a while to get back to you growing your hair. It was definitely a journey.
So I wigged it for a while.
I remember. I
wigged it for 2 years.
But she rocked it really well. You did.
Yeah, so nobody knew I was wearing a wig. And then I ended
never
up giving it to a friend after I was finished with it. But so my natural hair started to grow, but it still doesn't grow like the way that I would want it to, as thick as it is now. So Kelly was able to come up with 3 different techniques with extensions.
Yeah. And it's been a while. I mean, it really is you learning your person and accommodating to what they need, right? So for me, I always wanted to only do one type of hair extension. And then one of my mentors told me, you need to be able to open yourself up, because what if your client needs more than one method? And that's kind of where I took on and started learning different methods. I believe we started with you with hand-tied extensions, and then, which was great. But then after a while, it's like it doesn't always do everything that you needed to do. So then we moved on to doing K-tips around the very top. And then there are some pieces where we also use tapes. And that's the great thing about extensions, is you do it to whatever the client needs.
Mm-hmm. So the tape and extensions I had good success with. I use clip-ins now because my hair is actually very healthy. So I find that just like the 4-clip extension is enough for me. But I years ago did the bonded in kind with they were using, this was years before they have the technology now, they were using the glue and the actual tool. And
damaging.
Not only did it damage, I lost hair to the point that it had to be cut so short. It was devastating. It took years to get it back.
I'm sure a lot of women gone through
and that's the thing. I think it's a combination of finding the right stylist, finding good hair, and you have to take care of your hair. Because with Sandy, we've noticed so much hair growth. Whenever we take out her extensions, her hair is so long underneath because we're taking care of it. And it really does depend on the stylist that you're going to. And also, like you were saying, technology nowadays has gotten so much better to where you can wear K-tip extensions and you take it off and your hair is still long underneath, which is amazing.
Can you explain the K-tip, what that is exactly?
Yeah, so it's a small hair extension, and it has a keratin tip at the top, which keratin is what our hair is made out of. And you end up putting it on a little piece of hair of your own hair, and then you end up bonding it in, which ends up blending a lot better. It's more seamless, especially around the top hair, whereas where we put Sandy's K-tips in, we'll just do a couple in the back, just so that those short pieces will blend in very nicely.
And how long does that last?
Yeah, it bonds in, and you can wear it for up to, it really depends on the person, but you can end up wearing it for, I would say 4 months is pushing it. You really want anywhere between two and 3 months, depending on the person and the hair density.
And how often you wash your hair, does that?
How often you wash your hair? Yeah, it definitely also affects that. It depends, because there's some people that work out a lot and are very active. So you need to be washing your hair 3 times a week, which is I feel like that's about what most people do. Overwashing your hair is also to make your extensions just dry out and not last as long.
See, I like to wet my hair every day because I am active. So I like to wet and condition it, but I couldn't go with just not getting in a shower and not at least wetting my hair every day.
Right, which is fine. I think making sure you're conditioning your hair is the most important thing. What I like to tell people is, when you end up washing it and getting it wet every single day, and if you're blow drying every single day, that's where you're kind of getting into this tricky area of, are you over blow drying your hair and then drying your hair out? Now it's breaking.
Oh, so it's the shampooing part, or the shampooing and the blow drying part that damages the hair. The shampooing as well?
It's really the blow drying.
Okay, so the shampoo is fine.
Yeah,
but don't you strip your hair of the natural oils?
the constant heat that you put on your hair that's going to end up damaging it. But like you were saying, for using clip-in extensions is great because it's something where you can put them in, put them out, and you can still wash your hair.
I love it.
And also it just makes your curls, if you curl your hair, or your hairstyle, last a lot longer.
Right.
So for our viewers, Kelly's unique because she can do all different types of methods. But for somebody that wants, some extra volume or length, go see, they can just Google somebody in their area. I mean, what do you recommend for them to do if they need extra help?
I think for me, I would say if you just want something that's temporary, that you only want it for when you're going to go out to a special occasion or a dinner, I would go for the clip-in extension method, because I think it's easy, and then you don't have to, lose your head over finding the right person. But then for someone that wants something a little bit more permanent, in that case, I would go and I would definitely Instagram now and TikTok are the way to go, because sometimes Google, you won't find the exact person that you're looking for. And for me, I always look for pictures and videos to make sure that the person is actually good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I'm not on, I just got back on TikTok, but I know that everybody uses TikTok as a big resource. So you would suggest TikTok, Instagram for finding.
Yeah. Absolutely. Instagram now, because of all the AI things that are in how they've generated it now, you can type in like a Google search. It's like a Google search engine now, and then you'll get tons of people. I would just search up, like, if you want hand tied or if you want wefts or keratin, I would just look up keratin tips Miami, right? And then a bunch of stylists will pop up. I also say always go and do a consultation before. Don't just jump into the first person that you see. Kind of shop around and then see who you connect with the most as well.
Because they may not know which technique is good for them. Because I thought the hand tied was good for me, but we needed to add, other techniques over time, so my entire head of hair looks full.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Trial and error.
I think trusting your hairstylist as well. When you go in and you get that initial consultation, this is why I say I think you should shop around and find 2 to 3 people first, so that they can give you their opinion on what they think, and kind of make your decision from there. Because they might suggest a different extension method based off of whether you have a lot of hair or not a lot of hair. It depends on that too, because you don't want to be, for example, some people that have very fine hair, maybe wefts might not be the best idea because it might be too heavy on the hair, and then do the opposite of what your intention is. So I think it's important to just definitely do your research before you go in and jump into anything.
And the extensions are also really good as a color corrector, because you can color for real hair extensions. If you should be buying, I think, real hair as opposed to the synthetic, because then you can wash it, you can color it. So if you're letting your natural hair rest and let it grow out as well from that perspective, you can always add dimension through getting your colorist to color these extensions and add volume and dimension.
Absolutely. And I think that was very well said. I couldn't have said that better, because you really just
I've become an expert at this, unfortunately, through lots of mistakes.
Oh, yes, you do. You end up learning.
Yeah. And what would you recommend to the viewers if, let's say, they don't have extensions, just for their overall hair health? Certain supplements they could take, or certain treatments they could do at home? Like, what would you recommend?
Yeah, I think biotin is one of the top things that a lot of people use, but it's not for everybody, because some people will break out or have different reactions to it. So I think when it comes to supplements, I like the brand Weem, and there's also Nutrafol, which is super popular. But like I said, it depends. I would always consult your doctor for that to see what they think is best. But for just things that are topical that you can use, I love hair serums. I think they're my new favorite. Water-based specifically, because most people, when they think putting something on your scalp, they think oils. But for me, I think anything that's water-based that's going to hydrate the scalp is very, very good to just help with hair fallout. I think that's the most important thing. Right now, I think skincare is the most important thing, and your scalp is also part of your skin. So I think scalp care is the most important. Using a great shampoo, I think is super important. I think, Sandy, do you use Orbe? Is that what you're using?
I use Orbe.
Yeah, Orbe is great. I think Redken has a great shampoo that's right now, I think, one of my favorites. It's called the Acidic Bond shampoo, which will help balance the pH in your hair. So it helps with breakage and helps strengthen your hair. So I think a great shampoo and taking care of your scalp is the way to go. And also haircuts. You might not think about it because you're wearing extensions, or even if you're not wearing extensions. I think the longer you go without getting a haircut, the more your hair is breaking, and then you feel like it's never growing.
Those are great tips.
Those are great.
Yeah.
Very great.
We got to get hair like yours. Yours is natural. How did that happen?
So deceiving.
Also jeans, I will say.
Well, she also doesn't really blow dry that
don't
often.
color it
This is
either.
the first time since 2018 I've seen her hair straight.
Wow.
Yes,
gorgeous.
You will only catch me with my hair blow dried maybe once or twice a year. So this is different.
It
Where
looks
are you
amazing.
located so people could find you? Where are you located?
I am in LA, but I also go back and forth from LA to Miami. So I take clients in both places. Sometimes I'm in New York, but I frequent LA and Miami for the most part.
And where can they find you, Kelly? Like on Instagram, is that the best way?
Sure, yeah, on Instagram, Kelly_Godinez is the best way to find me. And any questions that anybody has, I'm pretty good at responding, sometimes not right away, but I like to respond to most people because there's always questions that are unique to everyone. So feel free to send me a message and I will do my best to try and help you.
That's good
Yeah.
to know.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Thank you for taking the time today and coming on our show.
Of course, this was so great. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having
So
me.
informative.
Thank you. If you have a friend who's interested in hair extensions and healthy hair, share this episode with them right now. And if you like what you're hearing, please like, subscribe, and leave us a review. There's much more coming up. We'll be right back. Next up, I have my friend Erica here to talk about the 5 love languages. Gary Chapman wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages that lays out 5 primary ways people give and receive love. And it's become a touchstone for millions of couples. My love language is quality time. What's yours?
Words of affirmation.
So let's discuss each love language and what that means. So physical touch could mean just holding your partner's hand, or it doesn't have to mean being intimate, but just something simple like putting your hand on their shoulder or holding their hand.
It just could mean, giving them a pat on the back, just kind of being somewhat affectionate in a physical manner. It doesn't have to be the extremes.
Something very simple. Words of affirmation, that's easy. Just compliment your partner. Say good morning. I hope you have a great day. You look beautiful today. You look cute today. Just something nice.
But it's not that easy for some.
But you could just
It should be easy.
But you could just make an effort. Right. Acts of service, any act of kindness, like bringing flowers home for your partner or making dinner for your partner, something simple.
Making the bed even, if someone likes you to be more clean in the house, make an effort to do that.
Or something like if your partner has to walk their dog or something easy, like do that for them or go to the dry cleaner, something simple, do their laundry.
Yeah, make their day a little bit easier.
Just making it a little bit easier. Quality time, making time for your partner, even if it's just an extra 30 minutes per day. Something, sit with them and watch TV or something that makes them feel better, like some extra time that you're spending, that you're taking away from something else to make them feel special.
Yeah, and do something that they want to do, not always what you want to do.
Even go for a walk, something easy. Like all of these are something free and easy that everybody can do. And receiving gifts. These gifts don't have to cost a lot of money. They could just be, like we said, flowers, a card,
An album, a photo album.
anything.
I mean, from time to time, I go get printed pictures of trips that we've gone on, or any pictures.
And
I
putting
put
together
them
like
in
a
an
little
album.
album or scrapbook,
Yeah.
something easy. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just something to make your partner feel special and let them know that you're thinking of them. So each person needs to figure out like what their love language is and also what your partner's love language is, I think, I would establish that in the beginning of the relationship. How do you feel about that?
You could be more than one. So when I just answered you, I am a mixture, but mainly words of affirmation is the most important to me, because that's in a communication format. So if I'm not receiving that in a relationship, then I'm immediately going to know that it will affect me, and it is important to discuss that early on. Like in my relationship, he wasn't really so much words of affirmation at the beginning. It was more actions, which actions do speak louder than words.
Are we talking about your marriage or the relationship you're in now?
My current relationship. It's more, it is more important that actions speak louder than words. However, he gradually became more words of affirmation.
And what's his?
I would say he's more quality time, but a mixture, like quality time, acts of service, physical touch.
So for our viewers, it's important to find out or figure out like what your love language is, what your partner's love language is, and what Erica was saying, that you could have a combination, but it's really important to figure out what you mean.
Right. It's like, if you're speaking two different languages in life, forget the love languages. If you're speaking two different languages, you're not going to understand each other, which could be good, because then you'll never fight with each other.
If I speak Spanish and you speak English, that could be a good relationship.
Yeah, you'll never, you'll never understand.
We have no idea what's going on.
Right. So it's the same thing with the love languages. Unless you get on the same page and understand one another, you might have bumps in the road that could be fixed if you discuss.
Or you could be like my ex and I, and we went through marriage counseling, and the counselor, this was back in 2014, she loved this book. So we spent an entire year working on this book and the love languages. I knew what mine was, he knew what he was, and we still couldn't make it work. But that was because he decided that he wasn't really that interested in marriage counseling at that time. So it was really me going to marriage counseling and learning all about the love languages for a year.
Right. I mean, you have to find someone that's willing and open to adjusting.
But it is a great book for people to read, and it is a great book to really understand what your love language is and understand what your partner's love language is. Because if you can establish that in the beginning, then you're really fulfilling each other's needs from the very start, as opposed to figuring it out like a year or two into the relationship.
Right. I mean, I guess a question would be, if you have very different love languages from the start, and I would recommend reading this book more than once, do you actually have compatibility? Like, yes, you can make changes, but do you think that for the viewers, you would advise them to maybe look more into whether you're compatible or not at that point than to have,
Well, I think you would know, if you know that your love language is quality time like mine is, and your partner's not able to give you that quality time, or your new partner, then they probably aren't the right person for you, because you're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to get really what you need from the relationship.
Right. If they have a demanding job, they're not around, you work from home, that's something that they may not be able to change. So maybe that's something to look at early on and say, this is maybe not the right fit for me.
That could be really frustrating. Or if your love language is receiving gifts, and you know that your partner hates to give gifts, well, you're going to be miserable.
Right.
And even if it's a small gift, like flowers or a card, if they're the type of person that isn't interested in giving any type of a gift, and there are people like that. I have friends who are in marriages with people that have never given them a gift, not even a card, which is crazy to me, but that could happen. Then they're not the right person for you as well.
But don't let gifts fool you either, because too many gifts could be also a problem.
True. You could be love bombed by gift. I mean, that happens to me. Like, you gift after gift after gift, and that's part of,
and they're meaningless
love bombing,
at the end of the day.
Which we know that's like a whole separate show on love bombing. But
you'd rather have a fully functioning individual to be with than a bag from Chanel.
But we love learning about the love languages, and we want all the viewers to learn what your love language is and your partner's, so you can have a successful relationship.
Read the book twice if you have to.
I've read it for an entire year. I mean, mine was not the ideal situation, but you have to have both partners that are willing and able to participate in the therapy, or even learning about the book together as a unit.
Exactly. Yeah. So outside of these love languages, if you have one partner that is extremely opposite end of the spectrum than the other, and they're just two different people, do you feel as though there's any compatibility there, and how does that work in terms of this?
Well, I do, but I think that you can be an introvert, your partner can be an extrovert, but if you are feeling fulfilled in the relationship where that person understands what your love language is and they're willing to do those things for you, and your understanding of their love language, it doesn't matter if they're an introvert or you're an extrovert, or if you're on completely opposite ends of the spectrum, you can still be together and have a great relationship. Yeah. But if you're not being fulfilled, if your love language isn't being acknowledged and you're not feeling fulfilled, chances are the relationship isn't going to work.
Right. It's like two alphas, butting heads with each other too. So you have to kind of figure out what works, what doesn't. Is the person open-minded to adjusting and changing a little bit to adapt to you?
Or even learning what fulfills you, because they may not know. They may not know that your love language is quality time, and then that's really important to you without the discussion. So it's really goes back to communication and really communicating how you feel, like what your language is, what fulfills you, as opposed to being, in a relationship where you're feeling unfulfilled because maybe that person is willing to do those things for you, but they may not even know. So you're actually explaining to them and taking this a step further by saying, no, this is what makes me feel fulfilled and happy and whole and complete. And then you're communicating with them of what makes them feel the same way. Yeah. And then you guys have a real chance.
Yeah, because small things. I mean, each of these 5 languages could be very small adjustments.
Yes.
Words of affirmation. You might say, you look great today. And that could change the whole attitude of your communication with the other person for that, time that you're spending together. Quality time, spend another hour with them,
It could just, like you said, it could just be like an hour extra per day. Everybody has an hour a day that they can do something.
Yeah.
It's all about communication. It's all about making your partner feel important. Could be minor tweaks, just like Erica said, just to make that other person feel great. And you have a real chance of a very successful relationship.
Be direct, have self-worth, and be a bad bitch.
Party's over. Now it's time for Spill It, my favorite part of the show, where my friend Vita is joining me to answer your questions. Vita, listen to this.
Oh boy.
Dear Sandra, my husband always takes his parents' side in every single argument, even if they're clearly wrong. I feel like I'm fighting the whole family. How do I get my husband to put our marriage first?
Oi, this is such a thing. I know so many women that deal with this.
So many.
And it's a serious problem because you can't be doing that.
No.
I understand, respect your elders, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? You chose to marry your wife and you chose to have a family with her. So you need to put that first.
She has to be number one.
Second. Your family is first. Your married family is first, I think. And then your family that you were born into comes second, because you made a conscious choice to be with this person. You didn't ask to be born to your mother.
And why are his parents getting involved anyhow? They should just stay in their lane and mind their own business.
That's a whole other topic. Stay in your lane, parents.
It's horrible. I mean, why are you even getting involved in your son's marriage and
I know
family.
People that have gotten divorced over this. This is a serious, serious issue.
Yeah,
it sounds kind of like, oh, whatever, my husband takes his parents' side, but at the end of the day, that's a fundamental issue in your marriage, because why isn't your partner siding with you?
And why is he even dealing with his parents like that? You're a grown man. You have your own family. Why is this even an issue?
So I think she needs to sit down with her husband and lay down the law.
And if he doesn't listen, you're going to have to leave.
If it's bothering you that much,
yeah, you're going to have to leave, because this is probably going to be an ongoing problem where you're constantly fighting. This is a toxic
it's toxic for their family.
It's
it seems like this is a big family. I'm fighting with the whole family. If they have kids, that's not fair to their kids to deal with. No.
You may have to remove yourself from him and this weird family unit.
And maybe your husband needs some therapy, because why is he listening to his parents this much in his adult life?
Yeah, it's very strange.
If my kids, I mean, I have young children, but down the line, I would hope that my children would side with their spouse, because that means I raised them properly.
Exactly. I agree. I couldn't agree more. Thanks for your letters and keeping them coming. We love spilling it with you. If you want to show us some love, then please like and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram at Sandra Lena Silverman for behind the scenes, real talk, and beauty tips that actually work. Remember, you have to choose you. See you next time.